I mean, the thing about Operation Warp Speed is, like, you have a program that, by some accounts, saved 10 to 20 million lives around the world by inventing and accelerating the distribution of mRNA vaccines, and yet nobody talks about it. I think the Democrats don't talk about it because it's kind of awkward to give credit to a program that was initiated under Donald Trump. But the weirdest thing of all is that Donald Trump doesn't talk about it. In fact, he's one of the biggest skeptics of mRNA science right now. So it really is bizarre. Like, imagine if we landed a man on the moon and nobody talked about the Apollo program because it just wasn't something that either party could bring up. We saved even more lives with Operation Warp Speed than we saved with the Apollo program, and no one talks about it. I think it's important to take really, really clear lessons from what Operation Warp Speed did. We set a very clear goal. We said in 10 months, we're going to develop a therapy that saves people's lives. We're going to get it to everybody if they want it. And we're going to make the cost of this world-saving therapeutic, maybe the best medicine in the world, $0.00. We set a goal. We identified what the bottlenecks were going to be. We took away the bottlenecks that existed, and we met the goal. Frankly, that's how government should work more often. We should have mayors and governors saying, we're going to set a goal for housing supply. I want to add 100,000 units, and I'm not going to let anybody tell me no. I care about climate change, so I'm going to add this amount of energy that we're going to create from solar and wind and geothermal, and I'm not going to let anybody tell me no. But for some reason, outside of a crisis, we don't have this kind of outcome-oriented politics. This book is about putting outcomes over processes. 3 pages of the book and saying, we can do this, but in order to do it, we have to get out of our own way.
But I think you go out and you talk to people, and we are the politics of short-term results. Everything is about what can you get me now. We're not even thinking about the giant medical miracle of Operation Warp Speed from a few years ago. Like, how does something like this resonate with folks who are on their phones? They're flipping through. They want an answer right now. They want to be angry right now. They want action right now. How do you speak to a grander idea when it feels like the world is moving faster than that?
You don't get long-term results in politics without short-term results. And this is a thing I think Democrats have really forgotten. We've been doing high-speed rail in California for a long time. Nobody's winning any elections on that. Under Joe Biden, they passed $42 billion for rural broadband. It passed in, I think, 2021, early 2022. By the end of 2024, you know how many people were hooked up to rural broadband? Couple dozen. We passed $7.5 billion for electric vehicle chargers to build a nationwide EV charger network. We built a couple dozen by the end of his presidency. You cannot win elections if you are passing billions of dollars that people cannot feel within 2 or 3 or 4 years. And that does not have to happen. In the time that California has not built 500 miles of high-speed rail, China built 23,000 miles of high-speed rail. We can do this. Making sure that money through government flows faster is how you make sure that people know government actually matters in their lives. When it goes too slowly, they don't know. And then somebody comes out and says, oh, vote for me. I'm the strong man. I alone can fix it. I will make it work. And then you run the risk that they're going to believe him.
Now,